So hi, welcome to another review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Fnatic Focus 3 mousepad here. This is a budget one, so stick around and I'll give you some lowdowns on what this is going to be like. If you're not familiar with this channel, I'm going to give you the data and statistics, give you the competitive edge over your rival gamers with things like latency test, glide test, which we'll be doing today, as well as many other things, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you're the first ones to get that. So let's start off with the design. This is a fabric weave. You can see here on these pictures how tight this is. This is quite impressive at the start here. Normally the cheaper pads don't have such a tight weave. This one does, which is good to see. It's also got a water repellent coating, so if you spill anything on there, you're going to be able to protect your mouse pad, although it will absorb some of it, but it doesn't take very long to dry itself off. It comes with a stitched edge, which I'm not a fan of, but this one is decent quality. You can see again here that it's a nice flush stitched edge, as well as a tight stitch along the entire pad. There's also no lump where it all joins back together. It's nice and smooth, which is good to see. The other thing that's a bit of a pet hate of mine, as well as many others, is the logo. And this one's in the bottom right hand corner, but good to see that it's also built into the fabric. It isn't going to stick out or be stuck on it. It's not going to affect any glide if you go over it with your mouse at all. Nice to see. Only comes in black top with a orange logo or black base, no other colours, but it does come in more sizes, and I'll give you some more detail on that later on. Let's get into the glide test. If you're not sure how to read these measurements, check out a link in the description. We're going to be using the average as well, which is normally the normal forward as well as the reverse sideways. Now, if you don't know that, like I said, check out the link in the description. It'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, as well as understanding these measurements. You'll also get comparisons against other mice pads to help you understand where this one sits in the rankings for speed or control. Now, I'm still trying to catch up with some of this data. I did do the SkyPad recently, so go and check that out if you haven't already after this video, as well as the MPC 450, which is my main at the moment. So the cable flat, the NSW is 21 grams, the NFW 28 grams, RSW 20 grams, and RFW 20 grams. This gives it an average glide of 24 grams, leaning more towards the speed control side, so it's quite quick, but it's also got a little bit more control than some of the other pads that you can see in these rankings. And moving on here to my later test, we've got the no cable flat test. The NSW is 21 grams, NFW 22 grams, RSW 18 grams, and RFW 19 grams. This gives it an average of 20 grams, and this again pairs it here with the MPC 450, which is my daily. Again, put it in the speed control area. Adding a bit of weight to it, it's around 300 grams of weight where your hand would press down on the pad. The NSW is 33 grams, NFW 35 grams, RSW 40 grams, and RFW 36 grams. This gives it an average of 38 grams. I'm not sure what to make of this really. Maybe the reverse direction on the pad could be faster. It does seem a little bit low grammage here for force to move it. So maybe some more data here to allow me to understand how this works, because I'm still trying to gather all this data for the other pads that I did, because these are obviously the newer tests that we're putting into it here. So moving on to the angle test or friction. So how much friction does it have before it releases, helping the micro adjustments or better control, stopping power, things like that. The NSW degree was 11, NFW 11, RSW 10, and RFW 9. So the average here is 11 degrees. This puts it on the higher initial adjustment friction here, but this is a small set of mouse pads here. We have to get through a lot more, which I'm trying to get through at the minute. But at the moment, this obviously requires a little bit more force to do micro adjustments, making it a little harder to kind of adjust quickly on the fly. How much, you'll have to decide that for yourself, looking at some of the other pads maybe. So moving on to the weighted angle friction, the NSW 10 degrees, NFW 9, RSW 8, RFW 8. This gives it an average of 11 degrees. Again, keep it on the higher initial friction here for micro adjustments and moving around on the pad. In small movement, you're going to need to use a little bit more effort than the other ones we've measured here. So stopping power while the initial high friction here. We know this is going to have some better control as it slows down the mouse, and you can certainly get some better control out of this, so that should be pretty decent if you're after a control but with a speed pad at the same time. Dimensions, well, I've measured this one. This is the large version. It comes in at 480 millimeters across by 370 millimeters down by 4 millimeters thick. For me, I wished it was at least 400 millimeters down basically, which it's not. So for me, it's a little bit short, 370, and I kept running off the pad. Whether that affects people or not, I'm not sure, but I do need a minimum of 400. They also do a few other sizes. They have a medium, so if you've got a small desk, it comes in at 360mm across by 280mm down by 4mm thick. Or if you want the full desk experience, you've got a 950mm across by 450mm down, definitely a better depth, and 4mm in depth, again the same thickness. Price wise, well, lucky for me, this one's sent out to check out and review, but the price here is pretty good. The large one starts at £17.99 UK pounds, which is definitely cheap, $19.99 US dollars. The medium even cheaper, £12.99, and a US dollar of $14.99. The desk size one is a little bit more pricey. It comes in at £25.99 or $29.99 US dollars. Again, not bad for a full size pad. Some decent price in here given the quality and how the stitch is. For me, I think it's a good price. Wear and tear, always hard to measure. But with my experience of other pads, I'd expect to get around 3 months before it starts to get muddy, depending how dirty your hands are, depending how dirty your desk is. Good thing about these fabric ones is that you can wash them, but the coating will start to wear down, so expect 3 to 6 months, I would say, before you start seeing some significant slowdowns. Movement, so whether it slides around any pad, because some of these pads unfortunately do, this one though is good. Comes in with 303 grams of pressure to move it around. It's certainly not the stickiest pad in the world, but I think above 300 in my opinion, you're not going to see it move. This one had no issues for me, it stuck nicely to the desk. And then the conclusion. So overall for me, nothing revolutionary on this pad. You know, it's pretty standard. It's got some nice finishes though for the price, certainly a high quality pad for this price range than I've seen around. If you're after faster pad, and you want it to be fabric, this is certainly one to look at, but bear in mind they do get muddy pretty quick, but you also get some micro adjustments here for a bit more control on the lower speed side of things. So if you're after a bit of a speed control pad, this one's certainly one to look out for. For me, I personally like a little bit of a quicker adjustment, so this won't be my daily. I'll be sticking with my MPC 450. Worth checking out, put the review link in the description below, as well as the Sky pad, which is a glass pad. Definitely worth checking it out. So I'll catch you later, thanks a lot, see you soon, bye bye.